Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I will be showing off this Gliscor suite. And you might have noticed, but by popular demand, I will be commentating over stuff today. And by popular demand, I mean my brother and my friends don't know what's going on, so I'm commentating, so it makes more sense. Alright, let's get into it. Start off with the Oxus. I think he's gonna sword stance. So I taunt, but nope, he just earthquakes. So I'm like, well, still faster, might as well get some rock stuff. Earthquake kills. Goes into Gliscor. I use sword stance to double my attack, but the reason I get poisoned here is because I have a thing called Toxic Orb, and the ability that Gliscor has, shown off here, is at the end of every turn, heal. And this person just used Earthquake on a flying type, so I just get a free another sword stance. I'm like, well, might as well protect to just get some more HP. Primarina comes in, but it's a bit too late for that. Primarina gets one shot on the switcher. Espeon comes out and does hecka damage with Psychic, but still goes down to Earthquake. Shaman's guy comes out and I'm like, oh, this thing probably outspeeds me. So then I Dynamax, and I would have died if I didn't Dynamax. So then I Max Rockfall, destroy this thing, and set up the Sandstorm. The Bat's Behind comes out, leech lives for a total of 5%, and then gets a rock ball to the face. Salamence the Salamander comes out, Dynamaxes, but still goes down to one max rock ball. Now the last thing here is this Blaziken at the beginning. I'm like, maybe I'm still in range for close combat, so I protect. I don't think I was in range normally, but maybe for a crit. But yeah, I kill it, and that's game 1. Game 2, we got this pretty cool team filled with 4 legendaries. Legendary. I'm dumb. Dragons, not legendary. So Crunch leaves me at 3%, which wouldn't matter because I have Focus Sash. Crunch takes me down after I use Rocks and Toxic. Gliscor comes out. I use Protect. I hit the Stone Edge where I protected, so then I can get that. And I Sword Stance. And I'm like, wait a second. I can just protect and then sword stance and let this thing go down. So I sword stance again. Crunch leaves me pretty low. I go back to half, and I'm like, alright, just protect, this thing goes down, not times 3 attack. Dracopult comes out, and I'm like, oh, I gotta Dynamax, this thing is way too fast. Dragon Darts does about 24 HP. Max Quake hits, ups my special defense. Dragonite, Max Rockfall still kills after multi-scale. Garchomp comes out, Dynamaxes. I don't kill, but he just uses Wormwind. Lowers my attack a bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm so confident, I kill. But with this Komodo that comes out, I make a huge mistake. I protect, thinking, oh, I'll try and give him HP. He uses his Clangorous Soul Blaze, breaks through my protect, gets an Omni Boost, and then Earthquake doesn't kill. Close combat leaves me at 14%. I'm like, oh crap, this thing probably outspeeds. But I'm like, okay, I gotta be at full HP. And he uses Aqua Tail. And I somehow outspeed a +1 Komodo. But I'm like, alright, this is going to be a Mega Medic. This is going to be rough. It's Psych Ups, which would have been good if it didn't die in one hit. And that's game 2. Game 3 has a team that is chock full of legendaries. I send out Deoxys, I send out Zapdos. They switch into Moltres for some reason. I set up Rock, and then a Toxic. They go for Ancient Power and get the Omni Boost. Then I set up Spikes, and then they go for Shadow Ball instead of any, like a Dark type, I would say. I go Spike. I die. I'm like, okay, they're poisoned, but this is still an Omni Boost Pokemon. This is going to be pretty tough to take out without speed because you can. Nope. It just is. I protect, but I fail. Get badly poisoned. Heat Wave can't burn me. Already poisoned. Sword Stance. I use Protect again to try and get some HP because I know Heat Wave's still going to do very much damage. So I'm like, alright, I'll Dynamax. Tank the Thunderbolt. In this video so far, we've had Earthquake on a flying type and Thunderbolt on a ground type. Decimate that thing. Moltres comes out. Takes a 4-time super effective max rock ball and just dies. Moltres Galar comes out and it's the same fate. At this point, I think they're thinking like, oh, there's no way I can win this. But Calyrex comes out and I'm like, this thing's faster than me, and what if it's choice specs and it's gonna be super strong? So I'm like, you know, 3% isn't that much, but I still want it. So then I'm going, and then this Calyrex does nothing. Because this guy doesn't even forfeit. He leaves and makes me sit here for a full minute. So annoying. Right, so then, this next game, this is a pretty good team. With Zacian. I don't like Zacian. Stealth Rocks. They use Acrobatics, because I guess they don't want to use Brave Birds. Pretty sure that means they have no items. Thunderous Kick lowers my defense. That means that this next Acrobatics does kill. But then I send out Gliscor, because I'm like, what is this thing going to do? So then I send out Zacian, there he is, which gives me a free Sword Stance. So then I Dynamax, uses Play Rough, does half my HP, and lowers my attack, but I kill it, which is the best thing. Reuniclus comes out, and I'm like, I'll just use Max Rock Ball to set up the Sand. Uses Acid Armor, and I'm like, oh crap, this thing's gonna wall me, isn't it? So I use Max Quake 34, ups my special defense so I don't just die to this thing. It uses Calm Mind. I go small. I'm small Gliscor now. Sword Stance, uses Recover. I'm like, nothing I can really do except, you know, just Sword Stance again. Uses Calm Mind again. And then I go for Earthquake. Don't kill. And then Stored Power leaves me on 6%. Earthquake luckily kills. And then the next thing to come out is Giratina. Honestly, I think this thing could, I don't know if it could have killed me, but it could have done so much more damage, you know, if it just used like Draco Meteor, but nope, Psychic. I think people think Gliscor is a poison type because of its ability and stuff, but it's not. So then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just protect on this so then, you know, I get HP. He uses Draining Fist, gets destroyed by an Earthquake, and then now Zapdos comes out. I use Protect, Acrobatics, and then he uses Thunderous Kick, and I'm like, oh, wait a sec, my defense fell. Rock Slide kills, but now I gotta deal against this Garchomp at -1, and it's definitely faster than me. So then I use Protect, because I'm like, I'm gonna need every bit of HP. Use a Scale Shot, and I'm like, if this thing hits 5 times, I'm pretty much dead. 1, 2, that's it. And boom, destroyed. Alright, now it's game 5, and he starts out with his wheezing. And I think, oh, this thing's gonna toxic, so I'll use taunt. But it just uses Will-O-Wisp. I'm like, what? So then Rar XT, the Gyarados, comes out. I toxic it. Waterfall puts me in half. I'm like, nothing I can really do with the spikes. But then he uses Dragon Breath. I go, no, 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 no more of that. And then I use taunt. Sky Sword, the scissor, comes out. I set up 2 more things of spikes. Sword dances, and I'm like, okay, you get a taunt that. But he just kills me with knockoff. Gliscor comes out, and I protect because I don't want to lose my Toxic Orb before I get poisoned. So then he uses Bullet Punch. I Sword Stance, and I'm like, that did way too much damage. So then I go big. I go Dynamite. Bullet Punch leaves me at 11%. Max Quake luckily kills this thing. But then, for some reason, Wheezing comes out. I use Max Rockfall because I was fearing the Levitate. And then Gyarados comes out, and I'm like, wait, it's got Intimidate. This thing can just lower my attack. I'm like, oh crap, he's doing that. Until he goes into Slowbro. I use Max Rockfall. And then, this guy just straight up forfeits for no reason. It's gonna be the end of this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and the message of the day is make sure to max out your speed EVs on Pokemon.